my name is Jennifer Tyson and I'm your go-to floral stylist. This is the final phase of our wedding series, and today I'm going to teach you how to make your own bridal bouquet. So first off, what you're going to need is just some floral tape, some chenille, and ribbon to wrap your bouquet with, and then of course your flowers. So we're going to do this kind of the same way that we did our centerpiece. We're going to make our bouquet in 3 sections. We're going to start with the hydrangea, which is our base. And then we don't need to fill in with any greenery or anything like that until the very end, and that is if you want to. Some people prefer more greenery than others. So if you don't want greenery in your bridal bouquet, you do not have to add it. So what I do is I just simply hold one hydrangea in my hand and then I build and turn as I go. So I'm going to start with this, a little bit of berry, a few roses. And I want to mention that when you're making bridal flowers, you want your roses to be as showy as possible. So it is a good idea to buy them a couple days in advance and just let them sit out in room temperature and let them open up like this. You get a lot of show this way and actually a lot more fragrance too. Okay, now we're going to turn. Add another hydrangea. You want to also design it all the way around, but make the showier part of the bouquet in the front. She's going to be holding it like this, and that's where you want all of your pop. I'm going to add a little bit of the Dusty Miller again, just because we're using these beautiful sagey greens throughout the entire wedding, and this gives it nice texture too. Now I'm going to add another rose. You can fill in with whatever you want. Filler flower, spray roses, berries. And what I do is, it's hard to kind of look down at it and get a good perspective. So I like to hold it in a mirror, and that way I can see if there's any holes, because I want it to be nice and round and full and picture perfect. I'm just going to add a few berries. Strip off the greenery first. You can add a few leaves at the top. Just make a little collar going around the edge. You can build this as big as you want, but as a general rule, the bridal bouquets are about 9–10 inches in diameter. Now I'm making what's called a composed bouquet today, but in the future we will be making cascading bouquets, which are, well, they cascade, they drape, and there's more fullness to them. A lot of times they're oversized, and they're making a comeback. This used to be, well, it still is a very popular look, but I'm very happy to say that cascading bouquets are making a comeback. I happen to think that they're, whoops, this one broke. I think that they're very romantic. Stick right back in there. Okay, how are we looking so far? Does that look nice and round to you? And again, you want to check in the mirror just to make sure. Now I'm going to fill in with a little bit of greenery. Again, I'm going to use some mint. You don't have to do this, but I like to use it just because it adds more texture and is really fragrant and different. We like to be different. One more Dusty Miller. And since I want it to be balanced, I'm going to add another Dusty Miller down here. Now, what you want to do is take a look at the bouquet from all angles. Now, to me, it looks the showiest from this angle. So this is going to be the front of my bouquet. Once I've established that, then I just pick off any excess greenery. I made my stems a little bit short. As a rule, you'd want them to be a little bit longer. And so what I do is take your chenille and just twist it around the top, not too tight because you don't want to pinch your stems. You're going to stick this bouquet in water until you're ready to wrap it. And you don't want to pinch off your stems because then your flowers won't be able to drink. Even after they've been cut, they continue to drink. So you want to make it secure but not too tight. Then you just cut off the excess wire. Then what I do is I take my clippers and I just cut a straight line all the way across so that all my stems are even and flush. You would want, if you want your handle longer, then just simply leave your stems longer. Mine really should be a little bit longer. I'd like ideally more, probably about 2 more inches on this. But as long as you have enough at the bottom so that the flowers can drink, that's really what you're looking for. Okay, now we're gonna take our floral tape and we're gonna tape all of the stems together. And this makes it easier to put on your ribbon because your ribbon is very slippery and it's not as difficult to wrap when you've taped your bouquet first. So you do the same thing as you do when you're wiring individual stems. You pull and twist and pull and twist. Pull really tight because that activates the glue in your tape. Now once you know how to do this, making your bridesmaid bouquet is pretty easy because it's the same technique, only maybe a little bit smaller scale, and usually opposite colors too. If the bride wants to hold a lot of color, then the bridesmaids would probably hold more white and just pops of color. Usually they do the opposite of whatever the bride is doing. And then of course you'd want to wrap your stems with whatever color dress the bridesmaid are wearing. Otherwise, you could just use a neutral ivory ribbon. Okay. Now I've left just enough at the bottom so that the stems can drink. And now we're gonna wrap with our satin ribbon. So I start by just folding over the edge of the ribbon so that it's clean. gonna start at the top and pull really tight. And just like when you're taping, you just go in a downward motion and overlap the ribbon slightly. Okay, now, once you get almost to the bottom, you want to figure out where the back of your bouquet is, and that's where you want to make that's where you want to insert your pearl pin so that it's not visible. So I just fold it over. Where's my pearl pins? Take one pearl pin and then secure my ribbon that way. Okay, now from the front, we can use our additional pearl pins to make a design on the handle, kind of like buttons. So you just simply poke the pearl pins in. You can just go straight down 1, 2, 3, or you can do clusters and create a design. I'm just gonna do, since I have such a short handle here, I'm just gonna do 2 simple pearl pins like that. Make it easy. And then the final step is just to spray it really nice. And again, your hydrangeas drink from the outside, so you especially want to spray those. And then you just set it in water until you're ready to use it. You want to set it in a good 2 inches of water. And then you're ready to go. Now that you know how to make a bridal bouquet, making a bridesmaid bouquet is much easier. Generally, it's a smaller scale than the bridal bouquet. It's usually anywhere from 6 to 8 inches in diameter. And usually it's opposite colors too, like I said. So I'm just gonna put together something super simple just to give you an idea. We're gonna use the Celadon green hydrangeas this time. And I'm just gonna add a few big roses for pop, some hypericum berry, another rose. This is gonna be just a lot simpler. You can make it as complicated as you want, but I'm just gonna do something really simple. Just to show you how easy it is to do something beautiful without getting too fussy. Add maybe a few more blossoms on the side here. Now if you look at the two together, you can see, whoops, you have the same kind of theme going. I'm all tangled here. You have the same kind of theme going here, just opposite colors. Now if you want to do something simpler and more cost-effective, you remember the single stem rose that we did in my first video, which is the corsage and boutonniere video. you can refer back to that video, and that would be a nice alternative to a bridesmaid bouquet. That'll save you money, but it would be just as beautiful. These last couple of weeks, we've covered just the basics on wedding flowers, but if there's anything that you've seen that you love that you'd like to learn how to create, feel free to email me at jenniferatyson@yahoo.com. I would be happy to teach you anything you'd like to know. I'd like to thank Johnny Jeans for providing all my clothes and this beautiful jewelry. They're voted the 4th hottest boutique in Orange County, and so I'm very happy and thankful to be wearing their things. I'm super excited about the next couple of weeks because we're going to be covering themed parties, including a wine-themed party and a luau. So stick with me because there's lots more to learn. Bye-bye.